I apologize for looking like a bum today, but I just got off the pickleball courts, and this is what it is. I've got a little bit of time to put together a little bit of video, but I want to today talk about the failing system and how, it's exploiting our children and our, young adults. So if you've been following my journey, you know that I've been sharing my own personal experiences with family courts, probate courts, and the heartbreaking impact of alienation on children, and obviously the challenges surrounding guardianships. Today I want to dive deeper and discuss how the systems that are meant to protect vulnerable individuals, including our children, and vulnerable adults, often fail us. These failures go way beyond individual cases. They're systemic, they're widespread, and impact countless families, millions of families. The role of family courts in perpetuating abuse is great. It's grand. Family courts are supposed to protect the best interests of our children. That's their priority. But many parents quickly realize that these courts are often under-resourced. They lack necessary training, obviously, to handle complex cases like parental alienation. Half of the time, they don't even identify it. Judges frequently rely on reports from court-appointed individuals that are clearly biased or incomplete, leading to decisions that do not truly serve the child's best interest. And that's a major problem. These aren't just simple custody disputes. They involve emotional and psychological abuse that the courts just overlook. It's not important. Family courts can unintentionally allow one parent to manipulate the narrative, causing lasting damage to the child's relationship with the other parent. It's a system that needs more scrutiny, better training, and a deeper understanding of the dynamics at play, especially in high conflict cases. Let's talk about Department of Social Services and their complete failures. Social Services, particularly the Department of Social Services, DSS, which is supposed to play a crucial role in investigating reports of abuse and neglect involving vulnerable adults, unfortunately sends undertrained investigators who are just not equipped to handle the complexities of the case. I mean, they probably couldn't handle the complexities of a standalone, physical abuse case. Nonetheless, one dealing with emotional manipulation. Despite the mandate to protect, these agencies often classify serious abuses as civil matters, pushing the responsibility back onto the courts, back onto the families to navigate an already complex legal landscape on their own. The systemic gap leaves vulnerable adults unprotected and families feeling abandoned. Those agencies who should be safeguarding our loved ones are failing at their most basic duty, allowing exploitation to continue unchecked. Exploitation within the guardianship system is unacceptable. Guardianships are intended to be a protective measure of last resort, used only when no other lesser restrictive options are available. However, the reality is that guardianships are often granted too quickly and without proper oversight. This process can strip vulnerable adults of all of their autonomy, their dignity, their fundamental rights. Court-appointed guardians, whether family members or professionals, can have near total control, often with no accountability, leading to exploitation and abuse. It's like dying and not having a tombstone. You've got no life left. These guardianships remove critical rights to make personal decisions, manage finances, or even decide who to see and where to live. Vulnerable adults often become isolated and their voices are silenced, again, under the guise of protection. This system lacks the necessary checks and balances to ensure that guardians act in the best interest of those that they're meant to protect. We need reform, guys. We need systemic reform. Family court, probate court, our children deserve it. This is why I'm doing these videos. I mean, family courts, DSS, the guardianship system, they need to be held accountable. We need better training for judges, for social workers, unbiased evaluations, and thorough oversight to prevent exploitation. Guardianship should always be a last resort, and less restrictive alternatives should be considered first. Always, always. Vulnerable adults deserve to retain as much independence as possible. Now, are we asking for too much? If that's what they want. And of course, we put safeguards that truly protect their rights in place. This is a call to action, guys. It's a call to action. Everybody needs to wake up to what's going on to our children. To everyone watching, I know personally how overwhelming these systems can feel. But I must keep pushing for change. I'm never going to stop. Our voices matter, and by sharing our stories and advocating for reform, we can help build a system that genuinely protects our loved ones. Let's work towards a future where vulnerable adults and children are supported, they're respected, and they're truly safeguarded. Thanks for listening. Let's continue to fight. Let's continue to fight for the change that's desperately needed. Our children deserve it. Talk to you soon. Thanks again.